Hey, what's up, guys? This is Travis here with the Chaotic Crafter Zero. You probably are familiar with my channel, and then today we're trying something very different, something very fun, something I wanted to do in 2026, and that was a collaboration video. So I have a good friend of the channel. He also has his own YouTube channel as well, the Warhammer Commentator. So this is the camera that I'll be using, but I'm going to be looking over here because my PC's over here, and I do have screen record going, so you will be able to follow along while we're talking. And just the main portion of this video, what we're trying to get out of this, the goal is kind of looking in a retrospect of how 2025 went for the hobby, how it went for us, things that we learned, and then looking forward into 2026, some of the goals that we have as hobbyists, as gamers, and where we want to take this hobby into the future, along with our YouTube channel a little bit. So, without further ado, I will go ahead and introduce the Warhammer Commentator. Go ahead and take it away, brother.
Yep. So I'm the Warhammer Commentator. I've been painting models for just over, about 8 months now. So yeah, I started my YouTube channel, I think around not December, a little earlier, November maybe. And yeah, I just show off stuff I'm currently painting. If I find any helpful techniques or anything I think is of note, then I will probably make a video showing that off. And yeah, I'm hoping to branch out a little bit as well, talk about lore, show some gaming as well. So yeah, I have been a viewer on Chaotic Crafter streams for a bit now. So yeah, I'm excited to be as part of the video.
Yeah, awesome.
And yeah, for the duration of the video, I'll probably just be painting a little bit, doing a bit of base coating on the sky.
Yeah, totally fine. What are you working on there?
So this right here is an Iron Strike or Fire Strike servo turret. So I'm just gonna pull back camera. Yeah. So this came as a part of the Iron Hands Combat Patrol. So yeah, I really like Space Marines, and especially Gravis Armor Space Marines. So I ended up getting the Iron Hands Combat Patrol for the 10 heavy intercessors. I think the Tech Marine was pretty cool. And yeah, I just like how the servo turret looks as well.
Yeah, that looks really good. He's got a Salamander's army that's like his main legion, if you will, like his what he gravitates towards, but he's a Space Marines player. And funnily enough, like, although I do play Chaos, I do definitely respect Space Marines players, because that's what got me into it, was the lore, reading the books. The Ultramarines Omnibus is how I kind of came into everything, and I read the books, and I'm like, this is such an amazing universe. Like, I've heard of Star Wars, I've heard of Dune, heard of Star Trek, of course, and I'm just like, what's something that I can read, and it's like it's just got everything that I want in a universe, and Warhammer was the one that happened, of different books, or just watching lore videos on YouTube, all the various YouTubers that are out there. And then I finally, like last year, I after watching videos of people painting, or people like doing battle reports, I really wanted to just get into the hobby side of things, and then actually like gaming. So I've been building up steadily my Black Legion army that I have, and I just have some great models that I just love showing off all the time. And this was my first box that I got, was just the Combat Patrol for Chaos Space Marines, and I just love the way that they look. I like playing the bad guys too, because for me, I just feel like bad guys have a lot more fun sometimes. So it's just kind of, that's just, I kind of gravitated towards that.
Yep.
I still love the lore of the Loyalists too. Like I almost went, I almost went Adeptus Sororitas. So it was between Adeptus Sororitas, and then there were a couple others I was looking at. And after pondering in the game store, looking at all the different models, I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go for the bad guys. So I picked Chaos, and Haven't looked back. It's been a blast. Yep. So for yourself, WC, where did you first start, or how did you get into the hobby?
How did I start? I knew about Warhammer for quite a while. Like I just heard about it on and off, seen a couple of like recommendation videos, but I mean I watched a couple, right? But I wasn't really into the universe as much. And then Space Marine 2 came out and my good friend recommended it to me because he's the one who gives me like all my games. I'm kind of a gamer, but I like watch other people game. I don't do as much myself because for some reason I just like it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm also not very well versed on all the different things of gaming going on at the moment.
Yeah.
So for it's like my YouTube feed that keeps me updated on that. But yeah, so this friend told me about Space Marine 2 and he was like, this is a game I think you might really like. So I'm like, okay, I'll try it out. And I played it and I loved it. Like I have way too much time in Space Marine 2. I have 700 hours, 800 hours in Space Marine 2. Like, I love that game. So I'm like, and also, these guys are super cool. And what's the story behind them? And then I'm like, oh, wait, this is a proper wider universe. And I've heard about this a little. So then I started getting into the lore. And of course, I loved how the enemies of Space Marine 2 looked, specifically the Tyranids and the Thousand Suns. I just love their Egyptian look. So what I did was I watched like a full lore video just on the Thousand Suns. That was my very first real entry into the Warhammer lore, was just like a 2-hour video about the history of the Thousand Suns. And all these things are mentioned. It's like, oh, there's the Horus Heresy, and there's other things. There's the Rubric of Ahriman, which was explained. And just all kinds of really interesting things that I just kind of went down a rabbit hole and just started learning a lot.
And it's I love the lore because it's like you're learning so much, and then while you're learning it, you're like, there's so much more going on that you're like, wait, what's
Yeah.
heresy? What is that about? Then you learn all about the drop site massacre, and then you learn about the loyalist legions versus the heretic, or the ones that went against the emperor, and then how they had their own civil war. And it's like you start reading about all these different parts of the solar system as we know it, and as it is in 40K, about their universe. And there's even a map. Like, if you want to start anywhere, you can look at a map and understand, like, okay, here's Sector Imperialis, here's Nihilist system, here's, whatever it may be. And then you understand how the planets work, and, like, there's so much to the lore. It's almost like a running joke of, like, someone asks you about it and you're like, how much time do you have? No.
It's like, they ask about, like, why does Space Marine armor look like that? And it's like, how much time do you have? I think we need to start at the beginning. The beginning. First, there was the war in heaven.
So there are these space frogs, right? Oh, I love it. Yeah,
they created the galaxy.
Oh my gosh. And that's a whole nother piece of the universe that they still haven't even fully developed yet either,
Yeah, we just know a little bit about that.
Just a little bit, but there's so much to the mind that can just imagine what it is. So maybe they'll go backwards, who knows? But Warhammer,
possible.
It's a fun universe, and like we're in the 41st millennium, but like you can pretty much start anywhere, within Warhammer, and you'll figure it out. If you want to go backwards in time, like the 30K, you can go backwards in time. If you want to start like the newest book and read up on that, might be kind of tough because you might not understand what's going on. So, but if you're very curious and you want to learn more, you're going to search out and find that information. So going on YouTube, finding channels like mine or like his, we can help you, get to that level where we have some lore as well. And like, we're in the hobby side too. So if you want to learn about painting, if you want to learn about different techniques, maybe learning about like what are a good brush to choose, or how to clean your brushes.
Yes.
We have good channels for that. So
specifically for good brushes to choose, do not buy the expensive ones. when you're starting out, you're not gonna really get their purpose unless you're already a really experienced painter with other things. So just get like cheap synthetic brushes. Get ones that's a couple bucks for a bunch, because they'll wear out, but that's fine. Any brush is gonna wear out, and they're cheap. So you can just get more. For example, this brush right here, I've had this brush almost since I began painting. You can see it's a little frayed. I've been using it. I've had this brush like again 8 months. This brush was like $2, $3 on its own because it's a tiny sharp brush. But yeah, and it's worked to be fine. And then when you inevitably do need to replace it, it's not like, oh no, $40 or $50 to replace it. No, it's just like $2.
Yep. I recommend the same. Like, I have some good brushes, like my premium, but that's for like finishing detail. Or like if I'm working on
Yes.
right? And I want to make sure I nail it on certain parts, I'm going to use my good brushes. But if you're just starting in this, yeah, I wouldn't buy all the really nice, super expensive brushes because you got to learn the techniques. You got to learn how to actually use the brushes properly, because one brush doesn't always fit every schema. You could paint most of your guys with the same brush, but it's good to
Yes.
have and understand the different types of brushes and how you can use them. So like right now, he's
For example,
model. Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
When I'm base coating like this on large flat surfaces, like there's just no point in using a super fine sharp brush because it's just gonna wear out the tip. And I just need to cover all the surface, so I just get a thicker brush, just more. This is an older brush, so this one's a bit frayed out, a bit flat. It's very blurry. There we go. Yeah, so you can see it's not really pointy. It's just a bit flat, and yeah, it doesn't really matter that much because I'm just getting the green on.
Yeah, and it holds a decent amount of paint, because
Yep.
when I first started, I went and grabbed the smallest brushes you could, Space Marines, with the and I was like, this is not working. It was not like, didn't look good. It looked like all
Fun.
it wasn't fun. Yeah, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And then eventually you figure out, well, oh yeah, maybe I should like step up my brush or use a different brush entirely. So, and then there's dry brushing, there's sponging, like there's so much hobby, and we've learned a lot over this year. And this is, looking at 2025 in retrospect, like it was a great year because it's the first year, I don't want to say you're in your honeymoon phase, but like, I guess you could call it that. But like, if you're new into the hobby, it's so fun. It really is. And, like when I first started, I'll show off my first models, right? So when I first started, I didn't really know what I wanted to paint right away. I didn't know what faction I wanted to be, but I at least wanted to learn how to do the basics. So I went to my local hobby store, and they had a pack of Gretchen, like a little orc box for $30. It was on clearance. So I just bought them. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy some paints. I'm going to buy some paint brushes, and I'm just going to see what I can do. Just try to see if I can figure it out. And I was able to paint these guys. So let me let it focus there. So like this is an example of one of the first ones that I painted. I even drilled out the little front of the barrel. So like I learned that, and like this guy I'm really proud of because I would consider him to be my first model ever made. I even did the basing on him too. So really proud of it.
Yeah.
And I still look at this and I still think, you know what, I did a pretty good job. WC, what was your first model that you remember?
Yeah, I'll clean my brush. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure my first model, or at least one of the first, was this Infernus Marine. So I made the decision. I don't know if it was a smart decision, but it was a decision to get the ultimate starter set. Because I'm like, oh wow, 2 combat patrols for only $250. That's a great deal. Before realizing that not only was it push fit, it was also 2 bad combat patrols.
Oh.
And terrain.
Did it
like the Space Marine combat patrol is literally 5 Terminators, 5 Infernus, and 2 Terminator characters. Like the Imperial Fist combat patrol also has 5 Terminators, but it also has 5 heroes of the chapter, 5 heavy intercessors, plus like a captain leading it. So very big difference. A lot better deal.
Yep. So maybe if you're starting,
Yeah.
look around, right? Maybe it might look
Yes.
like a good idea to get this box, but like maybe it might make sense. Like I got my second buy was a combat patrol. You know what I mean, for my Chaos Space Marines, and I showed them off earlier, and I got them. I also have the all the humans done as well. They were the first ones I did, so I didn't even start on the Space Marines right away, just because I was like, well, I don't want to mess it up, and like it took me so long to make these guys, like way longer. Now I can knock these guys out within probably 4 days, and that's like with 2 hours a day of painting. I could probably get it all, like from building it to priming it to painting it and finishing it. I could probably do it all within a week, but when I started, it took me way too long because I was so hyper focused on the details, or like scraping away every mold line, and it's like when you're first starting, it's okay to take your time, and you're going to have that natural process, and then you'll get better over time. So don't get frustrated, don't give up, and don't think you're not good, because you're going to get better. Like when we first started painting compared to where we are now, it's
very different.
Very different.
Night and day.
It's like night and day. So if you're not where you're at right now, and you just started like a month ago, 2 months ago, or maybe you haven't started yet, and you're looking to get into the hobby, the good thing is just to research it, get the right thing that you think you need, or something you actually want to paint, or something you want to build, and then test out what works for you. And it's okay if it doesn't work out right away. You're going to get better over time. Okay?
Yes.
So,
although,
yeah,
I do want to add.
Yes, go ahead.
Warhammer, very, very expensive. So, for maybe your first few models, instead of buying stupidly expensive I mean, you can still buy it, but instead of painting stupidly expensive Warhammer, you can also buy something like D&D miniatures, or maybe a different miniature war game. Because I know at the very least the D&D ones, like, you can get a couple for like a couple bucks. You can get like some decently sized, or like a dragon for a couple bucks, and then you can paint that, and it's not like a dragon for $150. That if you paint that, it's like, and you don't get everything perfect. You feel like you don't get everything perfect. It's like, oh no, that's $150.
Right. Oh my god, dude! I can't tell you. I remember. I'm on Facebook, and I follow different groups, and this one guy was like, "Yeah, I'm painting my first mini. I just built my first mini, and it was a dreadnought." And everyone's like, "He's a man."
That's
first mini.
That's suffering.
It's suffering. Yeah. Like, if you're crazy, I know it looks cool, but like,
I mean, I built a dreadnought. I painted the dreadnought.
Yep.
I have right here.
There he is.
Look, that's painting that as your first model is like, it's like masochism incarnate.
Yes, I could not even imagine doing that. Nope. Yeah, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. I love more of them.
Make no mistake.
Yeah.
Epic.
Absolutely. And when you see one finished in person, you're like, that is such a cool model. I want that on myself.
Yes.
I can't wait to put that on the battlefield and watch what he can do. They're
so fun.
Yes.
But probably don't do that as your first. You can get it as your first model, but probably you can build it as your. I wouldn't recommend building as your first model. It's a complicated build.
Agreed.
But you probably shouldn't build or paint it as your first model. It's the thing is, like, for example, with this dreadnought, I made the completely normal decision and minor mistake. I accidentally put on the legs backward when I first was putting it together and put all the glue on. So I'm like, man, these legs really aren't fitting. I'm like mutilating the parts. And I'm like, man, this barely fits. And then like an hour and a half later, when half the glue is like completely bone dry, it's like, oh, wait a second. That left leg is supposed to be on the right. Oh. And then I had to quickly just like slather on a ton of glue and get everything. Otherwise, it was all going to fall apart.
Yep. Try to fill in cracks and everything. And
yeah.
That is so. Except, see, there's a good example right there. And if you wouldn't mind panning up a little bit, just so we could see that gorgeous.
Yes.
Just so we could see that gorgeous thing. I mean, look at that.
You know, I'm just gonna hold this with my hand. It's easier.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, look at that, man. Yeah, such a cool model.
This was also my first thing with OSL, which is just trying to do. Man, this light doesn't feel bright here. You know what? I can solve this.
Yeah,
I can solve this. I'll just move the light down.
hobby light, always good to have too. I got one also, so.
There we go. That's a lot better.
There we go. Yeah.
So, yeah, this was my first run-in with object source lighting, which is trying to basically manually make things look glowy. And I think I did decent on this one. It definitely doesn't. I honestly don't think it looks bad, but it definitely could be better. Like, I definitely see things that could be improved. But yeah, I'm very happy with this as a first attempt.
Yeah, I think
very fun dreadnought to make and paint.
Absolutely. And look at the basing on that too. I mean, that is phenomenal. Great.
And the thing is, this is like not a hard base to make in actuality, because I can tell you exactly what this base is made of. This right here, this is cardboard. This is literally, I had a tissue box that was empty. I literally took a pair of scissors, went in a bunch of random shapes, put a bunch of glue, stacked them together. Then I just primed and I went over it with white, Corax white, just like a super light slathering of Corax white, Agrax Earthshade, and then I just went with this brush. With this brush, I just put on some brown paint, went all over the base. Yep. And then I put on some grass things, which I got from the army painter. Very good grass. Will last you forever and a day.
Yes.
And put some parts on. And yeah, that's a nice looking base.
Yeah. No, it looks phenomenal, brother. Very good job. Absolutely.
Thank you.
You see? Like, there you go. That's another cool thing about the hobby is you can use your imagination. You don't have to use what's in the box. You know, like, you have your models, but like there's other things that WC has shown me as well of like I guess the word could be sourcing pieces from other boxes but putting together, like if you want to make a Space Marine a certain way or with a certain weapon loadout, he has been able to do that. If you want to show off the Scout maybe, or whichever one, or you're you know, if you want to show those off and what you
I'm really proud of this one.
Yeah.
So this right here is a kit bash. So the word is called kit bashing.
Thank you.
Yes. Kit bashed mini of so this is the last mini of the month. By the way, before I talk about it, mini of the month. Highly recommend. The Warhammer shop, if you go to the Warhammer shop in person the first Saturday of a month, then you can go and ask for the mini of the month, and the guy there will literally give you a free mini. Like, just a flat out free mini. And that's every single month. You don't have to have a subscription, nothing. Free mini, and each month it'll be a different army. For example, last month was a guy that looked a bit like this, but I obviously changed some things. But the month before, or this month actually, January, was this guy, the Battle Servitor. Which is a cool looking model.
That is very cool.
Like, they really hit it off with this month.
Dang. Yep. Like when I went in, I got a Primaris Infernus as well, so that was my model of the month, for example.
Yeah, and that's another free model. So you can actually get two models the first time you go into a shop. You get that model, and you get a mini of the month. They'll give you both completely free. All you have to do is ask. Then I believe the month before, December, was this. So this is a Chaos Dwarf. It's a bit harder to see because of the Black Prime. But yeah, he's from Age of Sigmar. So he is not playable in 40K, but he still looks cool. That right there, this is what you use as your practice for painting. Because free model, if it's from Age of Sigmar, if you mess it up, you don't have to play it.
Yeah.
And if the month before, just all kinds of variety, lets you try out all kinds of things. So I have an example from a previous month, which I didn't really finish, but this guy.
Oh.
So yeah, cool stuff.
Awesome, dude.
Yes, completely free. You just go in. The month before, this one, I kind of mutilated a tiny little bit, but this guy, this Space Marine,
Yeah. Outstanding. Chainsword and everything. See, that's a good mini to have. You get it for free.
And this right here, this was the only kit bashing was the shoulder. Everything else came with it. The gun, this shoulder pad, the chainsword, all of that came with the mini.
There you go. And he's a Salamanders player, so he had like a Poldron laying around somewhere, and he's like, "You're now Salamanders," because that's
exactly that.
In Space Marines, or like if you're playing Chaos, I would choose a faction if you want to. I would recommend a faction that you can you have multiple options of. So maybe if you're sure, like, oh, I want to play the good guys, but I don't know if I want to be Imperial Fists or if I want to be Salamanders, if I want to be Ultramarines, you can just buy a Space Marines army, and then you're like, you know what? Because you can go either way. Or if you want to do Space Wolves, you could start it with that at least, and then you start buying specific models for the army you want to be. Yep. And like for Chaos,
speaking of cool little thing with Space Wolf. So in every other army, you have to have. So this is going back to the topic of dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
In every single other army, you have to have at least one leader character or one Space Marine that's not in a dreadnought to lead a dreadnought army. So it's just not possible to have a dreadnought only army with most Space Marine factions. But there is a reason I say most. The Space Wolves actually have two dreadnought characters, which is, I believe, Bjorn the Fell-Handed and Murderfang, which are two dreadnought characters. So they are character dreadnoughts. They have shields, they have axes, giant lightning claws. Super cool models. I would highly recommend getting them. Really cool models if you like dreadnoughts. And them being models for the Space Wolves means that a Space Wolves army can have a tournament legal only dreadnought army. And it's not a bad army either. It's like a slower army, but it is powerful.
Beefy, tanky, can take on anything. I don't know what their weapons loadouts are, but I mean, they're
very good.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and maybe they might not have high OC, so maybe if you want to throw in some scouts in there, just for some getting around objectives faster, or skirmishers maybe, but like you could have an entire army of nothing but dreadnoughts, like,
and
out.
Take it to a tournament. You could take this army of old dreadnoughts to the highest level tournament in the country, and they would let you in. You probably wouldn't win just because this is not an optimized army. This is a gimmick army. The gimmick, of course, being dreadnoughts, which is awesome. But still very cool.
Yep. There's
a perfect example of Warhammer's jank. Yeah, it's a perfect example of your customizability with Warhammer.
There you go. Yeah, Warhammer is, and it's cool because like they make AOS, right? So let's say you have, if I'm a Chaos player, if you didn't know this, as a Chaos player, you can also field demons as allies. So the only thing is that you have to choose a demon that's specific to your legion's, I guess, what would be the word for it? Like they choose who they serve. So if it's a Zinchling army, let's say you're playing Thousand Suns. Well, there you could have the Fate Weaver, right? So that's something that is found in Age of Sigmar. You can get that mini, but you can also play that in the 40K setting, which is amazing. So there is a little bit of mixing that you can do with some of it, but most of the time they keep them far apart. And like me learning how to play the tabletop game, it's a very steep learning curve. It is not. It is not beginner friendly. Even Combat Patrol or Kill Team, I mean, those are more beginner friendly, but there's still a lot that goes into it. So, just learning the hobby side of things or just loving the lore is totally fine. And then when you're ready, you start looking into how to play the game. So
it's
I started a little early, and I was looking up like battle reports, for example, on YouTube, and you can see how people play the game, and like a lot of them, they can be edited or cut down in time because an average game can be 2 to 4 hours.
And
so
that's not like a big game. That's like a couple of dudes. That's like 15 to 20 dudes. That game can take like 2 hours. I know, because I mostly play those size games, and they mostly take 2 hours.
Yep. Yep. So if you watch
But
YouTubers
it's fun.
that do battle reports, they might cut a lot of it out. And it's like, oh, we played 40K in 40 minutes. Not quite. But, for all intents and purposes, it's not a bad way to like learn some of the mechanics or like how to like choose your units or how they kind of work. It's a good way
Yeah.
to do research on that. So in 2025, looking back, like I'm really glad that I did put my time into it and I did purchase a codex, which I'm very glad for because there's good information inside your codexes to help you understand your army. And then you can look over the options of like, uh, which detachment you want to choose, right? Or like looking at the enhancements or the rules for that specific detachment, understanding the individual units and models that make up your army, and how many points they are, what damage they do, what's their strength, what's their toughness. It's a good idea if you want to look into gaming to kind of understand a lot of those words that come into playing 40K, because it's a lot. It's a lot. So like, how's it been?
There's a lot.
How's it been for you, WC, learning how to play the game and like understanding the different terminologies of this game, if you will?
Yeah. It's a very steep learning curve, and I do highly recommend looking at YouTube just because seeing it, I would recommend reading like the core rules or at least a shorter version. That's just the explanation of what's happening. And then watching a video after and just like pausing frequently and just identifying what's happening, what order, because that will make things so much clearer. Because like the rules are worded, they're not worded poorly, but like it's not written in as easy to understand language. Like it reminds me of reading more like a legal document than reading like a more interesting rules. But if you watch a game or maybe alongside the rules or anything, or a video saying these are the things you need to know for the game, both of those are very, very good options. And they'll help you understand it so much quicker.
Awesome.
And
Absolutely.
it is a steep learning curve, but once you get past that initial hurdle, it's really not too difficult to actually, it's like not hard, not really hard at all once you've gotten past that initial learning curve, just because the difficulty is in the beginning. And then after that, it's just you have to know keywords. And keywords, you can look up keywords. You can always look up keywords.
Yeah.
So that's not really a limiter.
Yep. And the gameplay itself, it's all turn-based, right? Like, yes, there's
Yes.
interrupts, and there are different phases within each turn. But if you play with someone who's a little bit more experienced, they can help you.
Yes. Yes.
There is a community support system here, and there's so many, like, there's YouTube channels, there's Reddits, there's, of course, we have a Discord, so I have a Discord, Chaotic Crafter Zeros. I have my server here, so if you want to be a part of that, WC is in here as well. So we could even help you with painting, for example, or understanding some of the game mechanics and the gameplay and understanding, like, okay, so what happens in this phase? Like, can I shoot this guy if he's behind the wall? Or like, what if this guy,
Yes.
in a crater?
What if there's a window?
Or yeah, exactly. Or if there's a window, because it does get kind of tricky,
Yeah.
or navigating around on the map. Like, how do you move inches if you have to go like this, if it's a zigzag pattern because there's stuff in the way?
Yes.
So, and then, disembarking troops from your tanks if you have carriers, right? And like, it can get complicated, but you can learn it over time and you'll get better at it. And
Yes.
I just hope you find the right place to play a game at, and that they're good people for you to learn from. And that's not always easy. But at least online, you can find people that are definitely willing to help you, if anything, and it's free.
Yes. And of course, a very, very good option is two good things. One, highly recommend playing your first game in person against a more experienced player. Because if you make any mistakes, if there's anything you're confused about, they will, like 99% of the time, be able to give you the correct answer. and it won't be, and you'll be able to like take them at their word and trust them, and it'll be correct.
Yes. And like,
And yeah. Also, Tabletop Simulator is a very good option for playing your first few games, because on Tabletop Simulator will solve some of those issues, because it's 40K. It is 40K, but it's online, so any of those errors, any of those interpretation mistakes you might make in person, and you're later like, oh shoot, I made a mistake, that's not going to happen online, because there's a computer making sure everything that you're doing follows the rules. So that is something to consider, at least. Yeah, just something to consider in general, honestly.
Yep. TTS, you can look it up. There is some stuff you'll have to download, but it is, you can get it, and it will help you, because I've seen it myself, and it's like if you try to move something, it will literally say, you cannot do that. And it'll tell you why.
If it's too far a distance, or...
Yeah, if it's too far of a distance or whatever. And if you're with an experienced player, if you're playing them like in an actual tabletop game, ask good questions like, what would you do in this situation? What if you were me?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, and he'll be like, if I were you, I would move my troops over here, and then he would give you good reasons for it, because now you're like learning as he would see things. So if you're learning from someone more experienced, asking those good questions, you don't have to be like, overly nagging him, but like just asking good questions and thinking about it. And like, if you want to take a chance and then see what happens and you get blown up, well, hey, that's a learning that you just learned something. You just experienced something, And if you're not...
The Acadian mindset.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, well, someone blew up. Now we know not to do that again, probably.
Not to do that again. So you're going to get better, probably. You're going to get better over time, and like you'll learn how to play your army, and every army plays different. Every single army plays differently. So,
speaking of...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just two things. Two like quick recommendations for picking out your starting army. They're almost a little contradictory, but not really. So, the first one, rule of cool. Do not look at meta. Like, don't even think about meta until you have your army and you find the models you like. The way you should buy Warhammer is you should buy the models that look cool. You should buy the army that looks cool. Because the thing is, Warhammer's constant rules updates. Something that's incredibly powerful meta like this, Unbreakable, 20 minutes, it's possible they release a data slate and it's been nerfed into the ground and now it's nothing. So, but if you pick models that you enjoy, models you think you'll have at least like fun looking at or fun painting or fun building, then that doesn't matter. Then that's going to affect you significantly less. And it might be a bit more interesting. If your army isn't optimized for meta, then when you are playing, you're going to have more interesting challenges. You're going to have more interesting setups.
That's a great point.
And the contradiction to that, kind of. For your starting army, I personally would highly, highly recommend not picking a horde.
Yes.
Because a horde army, it's a lot of models to build. It's a lot of models to paint. It's a lot of things to get done. It's very easy to get overwhelmed, and you need a ton of stuff to get started.
Yep. So what would be an example horde army?
Yeah. So one of the nice things about 40K is you can play any army as a horde or any army as an elite-based army. But generally, the more commonly known hordes are like the Astra Militarum, which are humanities forces, the Tyranids, which are the existential threat, I keep thinking about how to make Adeptus Custodes a horde, but that's not the correct answer here.
I would say orcs.
You can do it with...
Orcs could be.
Yeah, orc, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, you can definitely... Orcs are definitely very much a horde army.
Yep. As much as they are fun, but it's a lot of models. It is easy to get overwhelmed, but if you were to play an easy army, like Adeptus Custodes is recommended a lot.
Yes.
They are very strong. The models are...
And they're cheap.
Yeah.
They're cheap. Like, you can get a full Adeptus Custodes army for half the price. Like, a full Adeptus Custodes army for half the price, you can get an entire other army. Like, flat out, half the price. Like, $550 for an army versus $1,000.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So if you're trying to be budget minded, like Adeptus Custodes, if you want to be the good guys, right? Like that's a really good faction
Yes.
to go with. They're going to be around for a very long time. There are some models that are like 30K specific, and there are a lot, they do have that. But like, if you're playing something that's casual, you can always like bring it to the table and just say, "Hey, look, I got this. It's proxied as this, but like, I don't like the 40K model. I don't like the way it looks. The 30K model looks better." And if they're like, "Yeah, that's fine, play it," then it's cool. You know what I mean? So if you want to get something that you like, that rule of cool, like I have. Oh, here it is. So something that sucks with Chaos is a lot of their models are really old. So like the Land Raider looks the Rhino looks like crap for 40K. But this is the Horus Heresy Rhino, and it looks so much.
It's like the Chaos Army Rhino, the Chaos Rhino, is literally old enough to drink. It is more than 18 years old. It's like 20 years old, I think, now. Like the model itself is actually released 20 or 18 or 20 years ago.
They need to.
So like it's ancient. Yeah, it's.
So if you want a good supplement, there you go. Like that's something I can do. I could bring it to a tournament. I guarantee you. So long as the weapon loadout is close to what the 40K one, and I might just magnetize it so I can swap them out. You know what I mean? Then I can feed this, and no one's gonna blink an eye because it looks better to me
for everything.
For everything.
Every large model you get, you really should magnetize.
Yep.
Like for example, I should have magnetized my Dreadnought. I didn't. That was a mistake. But that was a mistake. But yeah, definitely if you're getting something big like a proper tank, like with the full turret up top or something like that, definitely magnetize.
Yep. Good advice. So something he learned in 2025, something I learned too.
Yes.
Because I mean, like for little Marines, like you don't really have. I mean,
it's not as big a deal.
It's not a big deal. Some people do. I think that's overkill. But like,
yeah.
If I have something like these big guys right here, right? So I have some war dogs.
Yes.
These would.
I was wondering when you bring them up.
Yeah, I love these things. These are. I'm so proud of these, and I did a really good job.
They're good.
Yeah, and I kit bashed a little bit of it because, like, I looked at the box art and I was like, I can make it better than that. I can make it so much more evil and just more despicable looking and heretical than anything else. And like, just doing the thing that I did with my bases, like I love to do, just adding like little some war, just like battlefield effects, if you will. And even these guys that are flesh or they're flayed and hanging from the back of the knight, like nobody else did that. I thought of it, my little fucked up mind that I have. But like, I just love it. I play the bad guys. I want them to be bad, and like the grim, dark future of war. This is what you would see, if you read the book.
That's what bad looks like.
Yep. So, but if you want to have,
that's also what good looks like, for that matter.
Yes. The Imperium is also very. It's interesting how it's just the grimdark. I love the universe. I love everything about it. I'm excited that I'm in this hobby. I'm excited that I have friends like WC here that we can talk about this hobby, and like we're also YouTubers too, so we're sharing it with the world, and like as we're learning, we're teaching other people to help them too. So we're in it for the right reasons, and that's why I thought like doing a collaboration would be such a great idea. Looking forward into the future, like 2026, what are some things that you wanted to work on?
For 2026, honestly, I'm pretty happy with how I'm doing. Just continuing to paint, continuing to build. The one thing I want to improve. I need to impulse buy less. I have way too many models. I need to paint them, and then I can worry about buying more later, because otherwise I will have a proper pile of shame, and that would be bad.
Yes. I have that too. And I get them because like maybe they're on deal, and I'm like, well, the prices are going to go up, or like maybe I get them
FOMO.
The FOMO, So I do.
And the worst part is that it's true. The prices will go up.
Yes, they will.
We know it will go up.
Yes. So if you're like, should I get it now or should I get it later? It's probably
Get it now.
a better price now. Yeah. Now, does that
Yeah.
mean buy your whole army and just? I mean, I wouldn't drop $1,000 unless if you're rolling like that. You know, I would start.
Yeah.
Start at a good chunk, like a combat patrol, like 150, 170
Yeah.
bucks. That's a good. And then your paints and your brushes, like you gotta, budget for those too. And there's so many different options with paints. Like Citadel is just they're good, but it's just the damn pots. And me and WC have the same complaint like a lot of hobbyists do, is like we love the paint. It is quality paint, but it's just the form factor they come in is just obscene, and they need to.
Here, I'll show you.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I'm right here.
Mhm.
So super simple, right? The pots themselves, they seal. Like they're actually really nicely sealed when there's nothing in them. You have your pot, right? You just open it away from you, pop over the top, pull it over, and you have a nice little lip for you to get paint from. And if you notice back there, you can see there's a little bit of dried paint.
Mm-hmm.
And this stuff is expensive. Like this is very expensive, like per milliliter. So the fact that like a quarter of it's drying on the lid and the seal, like this is sealed.
Right.
But,
yeah, it'll build up.
I'd prefer that not to be there.
Agreed. And there's methods to like helping, to maintain your pots, and we'll do videos on those, and I'm sure WC will do a video on that. It's a good tutorial because you should learn how to do that.
Yes.
But like 2026 for me, I want to try different paints. So I've been using.
Yes, that's the big thing.
Yeah, like I've been using Citadel. I do love it, but there's so many paints out there that I want to give other paints a chance, because some people swear by, like I've met many experienced painters and they're like, oh, you want to see my paint collection? The entire wall of different paints.
And that's like, oh yeah, that's like the part I use on a daily basis. Don't worry about the rest of it. And you're like, the rest of it?
The rest of it.
But what do you mean by the rest of it?
Yeah. So like I have Vallejo paints for certain things. I have a little bit of pro acryl, and I have Citadel as like my major paints. But like going into 2026, I would like to try different paints just to see how those work out. I love the brushes that I have. If it ain't broke, there's no need to fix it. So I'm okay with that. And another thing I want to work on, and I talked to WC about this, is he's smart. He builds a whole bunch of models at once, and then when it's a nice day out, he goes and he primes all of them. And he does that.
Yes,
he has a backlog of all primed minis that he could paint on the bad days, and that's so smart.
Of every single mini I own.
Yep. And that's such a good idea that I do it by batches. I take a box, I only work on that box until it's done. But it's so slow. So I want to work a little bit faster, and I'm going to try that method of building the box, but then putting it to the side, and then building another box, putting it to the side, and then priming them all in one go. And then that way, on the other days, I can just paint, and I don't have to, worry about my pile of shame adding up because I'm working away at it. So that's something I want to try in 2026. So, that's something I want to work on. And there's painting techniques too, and things that I want to work on and get better at. But anything else you could think of too, WC? Anything else that you would?
Anything else that I want to improve? I definitely do want to keep trying new things. Like for example, this model right here, I'm gonna take him off his holder. This model right here, I actually have been trying multiple new things. Just like for example, here the silver. What I did is actually something I haven't done on any silver before, which is where I put the normal base layer of silver, and then I put the areas which would hit the most light, so you can see them here since I've already put the highlights. I put a very bright silver just on those areas. And then it's almost a little bit like non-metallic metal.
Exactly. Because I can see like from the upper muzzle to the bottom muzzle, that top half just looks really good. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So like there's a technique that
I am shocked how well it looked. Yeah. Like I am surprised. I was expecting it to be a little bit brighter, and that's it. But no, it worked. Especially, especially when you put non-oil over the silver first, because that deepens the shadows, and then you're highlighting the high areas, and it's just such a good combination.
Yeah.
So here, he's gonna go back on.
Yeah, totally good. And if you want to join the Discord, you can see close-up pictures of those minis. Too, I'll be posting minis and just like front, back, different angles. And then, if you want to show off your minis, if you want to join the Discord, it is open.
Yes.
There is a moderator, but it's only just to weed out AI and like spam botting or like stuff that's not related, or like you shouldn't be there. Yeah, you're probably gonna get kicked out. But like we're a really cool community. I think we have a really good.
If you've made it this far into the video, you're probably not any of those.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, but yeah, I'm really glad that 2025 was good for me. I learned a lot. I've built a lot. I've painted a lot, and 2026, I'm going to take everything that I learned, and now I'm going to put it more into action. I'm going to get better at it. I'm going to have a full 2,000 point army of my Chaos Space Marines, and I'll finally be able to play Warhammer 40,000 as it's intended to be played. So,
yes.
That's something I'm.
And then 11th edition is going to come out.
Yeah.
And then all your Space Marines.
And you get the new codex. And well, I know, I guarantee you the new codexes are probably going to come out for Space Marines first. And then probably
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And then the codex.
Yeah. Well, whoever the starter box comes with, probably.
Exactly.
Which, here's the thing. I wasn't this time Necrons, wasn't 10th edition Necrons. I think the Indominus box. So I don't think they'll do Necrons again.
We'll see.
They might. I don't know.
Some are saying orcs too. I've seen that. Like some of the
I've seen that as well.
Like orcs and like as a part of the starter kit, because Titus has to reclaim the 500 worlds. Well, obviously there's your Space Marine, your Ultramarines right there, which are given almost every year. They're probably going to get the newest edition if they don't already have it with their codex. And like for Chaos, we're probably going to get it like midway, if not towards the end. And then if you're like Dark Eldar, it's going to be all the way at the very back until you get your codex.
Like 25 seconds before the edition ends.
Yeah, exactly. Before the edition ends. So
it's going to be like the release show of the next edition. It's going to be like counting down from a minute. It's going to be at 25 seconds. By the way, we got a new codex for you for 10th edition. And then 11th edition comes out like, now throw that in the trash. Come on, buy the...
Does not apply.
Yeah.
So
none of these data sheets are actually applicable. Not even one.
Anymore. Half the models went to Legends, so... Oh, God. Yeah. But there's a lot of good things going on. It's an exciting time to be into the hobby. I think more people are into it now than I think ever have been.
Yes, Space Marine 2 did a lot.
Yes, it did. And then we have Astartes 2 coming out really soon, and man, are we looking forward to it.
That's so exciting.
Yes, it is a good time to be in it, and I'm glad that you're here to be a part of it with us. So I really appreciate it if you watched till the end here. You've gotten to know me a little bit. You got to meet WC, and again, I'll just pan back to his channel so you can see it. The Warhammer Commentator. Please subscribe to him. Please subscribe to me. Check out our videos, like them, and then if you want to join the Discord, you absolutely can. It'll be on mine, so you can go into there and check it out. Do you have the Discord link? I see you also have one too there. Which one's that for?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's for mine, actually. I set that up very recently. It's kind of a work in progress at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're interested, you can check that out as well.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. So there you go. So it's been a good year. It's been a great video. I really appreciate talking with my friend and seeing what we've had over the years and what how we got into it. and what we've learned
Mhm.
this previous year, and then what we're going to do in the future. So, with that said, I mean, this is Travis with the Chaotic Crafter Zero. I'll be seeing you on the next time. And then any final words from you, sir?
Oh yeah, it was a good video, and I hope you guys come back for more.
Absolutely. Thank you, WC. Always good talking to you, man. All right,
Yep.
I'll go ahead and end the video, and I'll see you on the next one.
Yep.
All right, bye.
See you on the next one.